Hello, travelers! Welcome back to a brand new season of TNL audio stories. This time around, we will take you to the nooks and corners of the world with a magnifying glass in our hands, exploring hidden gems. Whether it's an untouched, never heard of a beach in a popular destination, or isolated villages hidden behind snow capped peaks, these travel stories will take you to lands far and away. So, get cozy, get that cuppa ready, and discover the undiscovered with us this year. If you plan to go to Manali from Spiti via the Rohtang Pass, know that you'll be signing up for weeks worth of body ache. However, the dramatic landscapes makes the road bearable. Our tempo traveler moved at a non-existent speed, and every pothole felt like a crater. As we battled battered routes where the river merged with roads, I found myself smiling oddly. It wasn't the cold that had made me go bonkers, or even the after effects of Avamine. It was simply my mind replaying a moment from a couple of days ago that my heart had grown quite fond of. Dhankar is a tiny village in the breathtaking Spiti Valley, about an hour and a half away from the capital town of Kaza. Known for old fort ruins, an ancient Tibetan monastery, and a hike till Dhankar Lake, this village is usually a pit stop for travelers. Abhinav, a photographer who had taken a group of enthusiasts to capture Spiti's essence, decided to stay a night at this otherwise neglected village. The two of us had connected over the past month since we were part of the same team working on creating videos on Spiti. Although the project had ended, I wanted to meet him without looming work deadlines and wake-up calls. I wanted to see if our friendship was worth pursuing. I reached Dhankar around sunset, trekking upwards from the main road. Completely exhausted from this mini adventure, I was glad to see Abhinav waiting for me at the only cafe in the area with a cup of coffee in hand. After exchanging pleasantries with at least 20 people from his group, we made our way to a homestay, our refuge for the night. While I was talking to Priyanka, a lawyer from Delhi and a hobby astrophotographer, my eyes trailed Abhinav's footsteps. It felt like I was back in high school, crushing on someone I barely knew but itched to know more about him. You know, the butterflies in the stomach phase? I could feel that, but only at one of the highest altitudes in the country. A little while later, it was time for dinner. Dinner was simple, yet the most comforting meal I'd eaten in days. We devoured bowls of cuppa over conversations revolving around aspirations and courage. I wrapped another shawl around me as my limbs continued to hurt from the hike. Our homestay's owner, Sonamji, passed copious amounts of ginger lemon honey tea to help us survive the cold. As we sipped the last drop of it, Abhinav suggested going to the roof of the rundown fort for a session on astrophotography. 5 people from the entire clan decided to join him. I, however, was not given an option. We wore 3 more layers of clothing and ventured out as a group of rebellious Cinderellas post-midnight. A 20-minute steep walk later, we gazed at the sleepy village shining under the stars. Everyone took out their tripods, set up their cameras, and attentively heard Abhinav's tales of the galaxy. Spiti is considered one of the finest places to see the Milky Way in all its glory, and our agenda that night was to capture it. I sat down in a corner with my back resting on the fort's short boundary wall. Prayer flags danced to the tunes of the strong winds. I watched everyone hard at work for another hour or so, each learning a new skill, pouring secrets, and excitedly jumping every time they saw a shooting star. And mind you, one flew by every 2 minutes. A few minutes later, Abhinav sat down beside me, one of his knees almost touching mine. The butterflies were back. We spoke in whispers about how right this felt, about how life has a way of making things happen, and about how we were best friends before anything else. Slowly, everything else around me started to feel blurry. The only thing that mattered was that the two of us were under a blanket of stars, exchanging sweet nothings. Our conversation wasn't anything even remotely romantic, but we were saying all the right things. Right then, he got up, set his camera on timer, and asked me to hold my breath for 30 seconds. The outcome? A picture of us in our element, looking at the marvelous Spiti sky that shone just a little bit extra miraculously that night. Till date, I don't know whether it was the magical valley's aura that cast a spell, the moments of silence without any mobile network, the shivering cold that numbed our senses, or the fact that we were genuinely developing feelings for each other. But one thing's for sure, there isn't any other way I'd want to go stargazing. This week, with our Valentine's Day special episode, romance is in the air. White Spiti is indeed the place to fall in love with yourself and otherwise. Give us a glimpse of your romantic sojourns in the comments below. Also, stay tuned to Travel+Leisure India for more such heartwarming stories.